How's it going, guys? I hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today with another What Do We Know So Far video. This one today, guys, is actually going to focus on Biomutant. So here is everything that we know so far about Biomutant. So let's start off with the basic facts. So this game is developed by Swedish Developer Experiment 101 and published by THQ Nordic. It is a single player action role-playing game, and it will be available on the PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The developer have officially described Biomutant as a post-apocalyptic kung fu fable RPG, and it looks wacky, it looks crazy, and in one word, it looks fun. So what is the basic premise of Biomutant? Well, it is set in a post-apocalyptic world. The world of Biomutant has been struck by a natural disaster as poisonous oil comes from beneath the surface and pollutes the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life has 5 roots which gives life to the whole world. In order to save the Tree of Life, players need to go to the end of each root, defeat a creature that is destroying the root by gnawing on it, and clean up the oil there, ultimately uniting the world's tribes and saving the planet. We have already seen one of these monsters or one of these bosses that you have to take out at the root, and it looked crazy. It was kind of like a multi-phased fight, and it looked really fun. So curing each of the Tree of Life's roots will increase your percentage chance of saving the world at the end of the game. This sounds a little bit like Mass Effect 3's Galactic Readiness. So from the sounds of this, we will potentially have multiple endings where you can have a good or bad ending, depending on obviously how much you complete the game and what you choose to do. So let's talk a little bit about the world building in the game, because the world looks really interesting. There are actually 6 tribes in the world. 3 of them actually want to heal the Tree of Life, while 3 others actually plan to do things on their own. Each tribe can be influenced through something called the karma system. The player can choose to ally with a tribe or eliminate other tribes in order to grow the power of their allied tribe in the world. Although it is possible to decide the Tree of Life's fate without having to murder and destroy any of the tribes at all, so you can choose whether to play as good or whether to play as evil, or something a little bit in the middle. We are told there will potentially be branching storylines, and that decisions made by the player will decide how the story ultimately pans out and ultimately concludes. The karma system is a system for NPCs and a companion system for recruiting allies to fight and travel alongside you. Depending on your actions, interactions, and decisions made throughout the game, the stances that characters take can change, which can influence the way the game progresses through dialogue options and quest lines which become available to you. Your actions in Biomutant will teeter a simple karma back and forth between good and bad. So a little bit like Rogue and Paragon in Mass Effect. Apparently, you'll also see a different ending depending on your karma by the end of the game. The story is fully narrated, but there's actually only one voice actor in the game, and that is the omnipresent and pleasantly British narrator. Not only does he narrate the constant action of your protagonist, but he also voices every NPC conversation. It's kind of like he's reading dialogue out of a fairy tale, and it's really fun, really different, and really unique. And yeah, I really like the style of it. So let's talk about the gameplay elements to the game. Well, it's set in an open world environment and played from a third-person perspective. The player takes control of a raccoon cat-like creature in a world filled with mutated animals. Character customization is a large part of this game. So at the beginning of the game, you can fully customize your character, their look, their attributes and style. And there are multiple attributes that you can tweak, from strength, agility, vitality, which obviously is your health and your health regen, charisma and intellect. Shifting them around in the character creator drastically changes the physique and look of your creature. They can be short or tall, buff or skinny. These have a direct impact on the statistics of the playable character during the game, like for example weapon damage, persuasion, and movement speed. For example, a thicker, heavier character is slower but more robust, allowing it to deal and resist more damage. You can also change your gender, your fur, and your fangs. Let's talk about the combat system. The combat in this game looks really fun. It combines melee attacks and long range shooting, and it reminds me heavily of Devil May Cry in the style of combat, from sort of slowing down time, doing some really badass flips and attacks, and you even have like a supercharged ability where you charge up a bar and then you can unleash it to do these sort of like quick, not quick time, but kind of rapid attacks, and it just looks really cool. Your character is also able to dodge to the left, right, and backward, as well as jump. The developers are calling this gun fu, and it just looks really cool. And then when you're fighting, there are little words that pop up that say sort of pow and wallop, and a little bit like from comic books, which is really cool. Let's talk about the crafting system, because we do know there is a deep crafting system to the game. For making new weapons and armor, the player will collect parts throughout the game and can combine these to create weapons. And weapons can include swords, staffs, rifles, and pistols. Each part can affect the overall stats and behavior of the weapon. For example, you could put a cryogenic part onto the weapon, which will allow it to fire, say, ice bullets, or an electrical element onto the weapon on a sword, for example, which will allow you to sort of electrocute enemies. The weapons look really cool and original, and you can switch freely between them in combat as well, and that looks really fluid. The combat looks fluid and it looks quite accessible and enjoyable. Let's talk about the leveling. So to strengthen your attributes and unlock new attack combinations and abilities, you can also learn specific moves from NPCs, but you can also change your abilities with something called mutations. Obviously, a hint there is in the name Biomutant. You can pick up new powers when exposed to the post-apocalyptic wastelands. Biomutations, for example, can be purchased or bought through bio points, and you get these bio points by defeating infected and contaminated creatures. You can also attain something called psionic mutations using an old radioactive machine, very Bruce Banner style, and this will actually give you almost X-Men style abilities. So we've seen a couple of these powers, including telekinesis, which allows you to hurl small enemies and objects at each other, and levitate as well is also an ability. You can also upgrade your body with biomechanical parts, such as attaching robotic legs, wings, and claws that can be attached to your character. So I expect the way that your creature will mutate and will change will be very unique to you and your experience. It feels like this is what will make Biomutant kind of your own. So let's talk a little bit about the level designs. In order to reach specific areas in the level, players must actually change their body parts and equip gear that is suited to that area. For example, a gas mask or oxygen container might be necessary to deal with the limited oxygen available in the death zone, or you may need to obtain specific vehicles such as air balloons or jet skis to explore particular areas and gain access to certain areas as well. The game's world can be explored on foot, by air, jet ski, and also by mech, and the mech looks really cool. And it will also feature a dynamic weather system and day and night cycle that can also affect gameplay and enemy behavior. There will also be 3 individual worlds to explore, including an underworld and even a miniature solar system, whatever that means. And there will be 7 biodomes which they have confirmed, and these will each have their own kind of environmental hazards. So for example, extreme heat, radiation, extreme cold, lack of oxygen, and that kind of thing. But Biomutant looks really interesting. It's like nothing that we've seen out there, and it just looks quirky and it just looks fun. And I've been interested ever since this game was first announced, I think back in 2017. Originally Biomutant was set to release back in 2019. Obviously that didn't happen, and Experiment 101 have been kind of quiet about it, and a lot of people have been asking, you know, where is this game, when is it going to come out? Well, Experiment 101 One finally lifted the silence in February 2020. They haven't given a confirmed release date as of yet, but they have confirmed that the game is in the final stages of development and that they will reveal a release date as soon as everyone at their studio feels confident about hitting that date and that the game is ready for it. So we don't know when it's coming, but we do know it is coming at some point. And Biomutant, it looks really fun, and I'm very much looking forward to picking it up and checking it out. So there is everything that we know about Biomutant. Let me know what you guys think of this game in the comment section below. Is it a game you're interested in? Is it a game that you want to pick up? Let me know your thoughts on it, and I hope you guys found this video useful and informative. Of course, if you did, show your support please by liking, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys having a great week. Of course, stay safe, take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.